At 34 years old, I sat in a sterile conference room and heard my parents' final wishes read aloud. My name wasn't on a single page. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm a senior accountant. 18 months ago, my world tilted in a room that smelled like old carpet. The house I'd quietly kept afloat for 6 years, every payment, every repair, was being handed to my cousin Jake. My mother held my hand while the attorney spoke, her grip warm, her smile never wavering. So I did something quiet, something my family wouldn't notice for 30 full days. When my mother finally texted about the mortgage, my reply took 7 seconds and cost me everything. What followed dismantled my family board by board. But none of them knew. I kept every receipt. Welcome to Zarabell Stories. Pour something warm and settle in. Tell me where you're listening from. If stories about loyalty and betrayal speak to you, hit subscribe. It started with a text. We're getting our affairs in order, sweetheart. We need you Tuesday. I felt something bloom in my chest. Needed. I took a half day from work. If you're an accountant in February, that's like donating a kidney. I drove north with a folder on the passenger seat. Insurance policies, mortgage statements, account numbers, color-coded, tabbed. I thought they finally wanted their spreadsheet daughter in the room. The law office sat above a dry cleaner. I climbed the stairs rehearsing helpful phrases. Then I opened the conference room door. My Aunt Patricia was already seated. Next to her sat Jake, wearing the blazer he trots out for important occasions. 2 coffees already poured. None for me. My parents sat across, and my father stared out the window. Why was my cousin at my parents' estate planning meeting? The attorney, a careful man named Mr. Harrison, looked up. Sarah, thank you for coming. This won't be easy. He opened a binder. My parents had established a living trust. Into it went the house, savings accounts, my father's truck. Upon their passing, the sole beneficiary would be Jake Brooks. Then Harrison looked at me. As for their daughter, Sarah Mitchell, the trust makes no provision intentionally. 2 words followed. With love. Someone had spent hours crafting that phrase. Harrison explained why I was there. When parents exclude a child, he advises telling them face-to-face to prevent challenges later. It was, he said, the kindest way. I nodded while my soul left through the window my father was studying. My mother took my hands. Nothing changes, sweetheart. You'll still help. That's who you are. I looked at my father. He hadn't met my eyes. 68, a mechanic his whole life. He studied that parking lot like there'd be a test. Across the table, Patricia smoothed her skirt. We all agreed, she said. It's what's fairest. To understand fairest, go back 6 years. Jake had a sandwich franchise. When it started sinking, he went to my parents. They refinanced their nearly paid-off house and pulled out $80,000 without telling me. I found out after the papers were signed. Same month my father had his first hospital stay. The math was brutal. New loan, $128,000, 15 years, about $1,400 a month. My dad's pension couldn't cover it. My mother cried at the kitchen table. She looked up at me. I was 28. I said the words that defined 6 years. I'll cover it for a few months. The franchise died. Nobody ever knew the real number. $80,000 gone, never spoken of again. A few months became 6 years. 72 payments, the 28th of every month, $1,400 automatic. I added their cell phones, car insurance. When the roof needed patching, the invoice came to my email. I paid without ceremony. My own life got smaller. I kept renting while coworkers bought houses. I sent a gift instead of attending my best friend's destination wedding. Every Sunday, my mother passed around photos of Jake's kids. Are you still saving? She'd ask. Twice I asked to be on the deed. Both times my mother looked wounded. The house will be yours one day. Why make it cold with paperwork? I paid first and negotiated never. I believed that promise for 72 straight payments. Back in that conference room, I set my folder on the table. I asked one question. Why? It came out steadier than I felt. Patricia answered. Jake has children. You're set. You've always been set. Set like a diagnosis. My mom nodded. Leaving the house to the one who needs it keeps a family close. Jake leaned back. You can still come for Christmas. Obviously. I looked at each of them. My father's still at the window. I stood, thanked Mr. Harrison, and said I had a deadline. No tears. I gathered my folder. My calm made the room angrier than yelling would. Patricia's mouth went thin. My mother's smile flickered. I was almost in my car when I heard my father's voice, ragged, calling my name. He came down too fast. By the time he reached me, he leaned on my trunk to breathe. Your mother and Patricia, once they decide something, it's like arguing with weather. That was his defense. He reached into his coat and pressed something into my palm, a key. The key to his workshop. In case you need a place to think. My father has never said sorry. He hands people keys instead. That night, I sat at my kitchen table with wine I didn't drink. I opened my banking app. For 6 years, I'd never run that report on my own life. There it was, a green column. The 28th of every month. Past job changes, lease renewals. 2 winters I skipped snow tires. On one side, over $120,000 of my life. On the other, the word sweetheart and a promise notarized out of existence. My thumb hovered over cancel. I didn't press it. Never make a 6-figure decision angry at night. In the morning, I wasn't angry. I was thorough. Saturday morning. Coffee. Laptop. Legal pad. Item 1. Mortgage auto pay canceled. Item 2. Phone plan. Split their lines. Item 3. Car insurance non-renew. Item 4. The $6,000 house emergency bucket, renamed and moved. 90 minutes. 6 years unwound. I didn't announce it. I made my arrangements without them. I didn't block a single number. Blocking is loud. I wanted the other thing, silence that simply doesn't show up. Here's what happened over 30 days. Nothing. Nobody called to check on me. My mother sent 2 messages, a photo of Jake's kids, and a thumbs up about Patricia's post. For 6 years, I'd told myself love in the Midwest is quiet. 30 days of silence ran a cleaner audit than I ever could. The calls I used to get were never about me. They were about the roof, the insurance, the phone upgrade. With nothing due, I didn't exist. My life without the $1,400 going out got strangely good. I went for runs. I made dinner for one and ate it slowly. I looked at a house listing and let myself want it. The 28th came and went. My phone stayed dark. March 1st, nothing. The grace period ran to the 16th. Silence. Then on a gray Tuesday, my phone buzzed. I was at my desk. Mom. The preview. The mortgage is due. No hello. No question mark. I typed a long reply and deleted it. A shorter one and deleted that. Explaining yourself to people who benefit from misunderstanding is just another payment. So I wrote, not my problem. I hit send and put the phone in my drawer. It took 11 minutes to start ringing. It didn't stop for 3 days. The messages came in stages. Stage 1. Disbelief. Stage 2. This isn't funny. Stage 3. After everything we've done for you. Stage 4. Your father's heart can't take this stress. I answered one call. Her church voice. Family doesn't keep score. I looked out my window. Then why does the scoreboard only show what I owe? She said we'd talk when I calmed down. I said goodnight and hung up. Then she screenshot my text and sent it to the family group chat. By Sunday, Patricia had a version of me ready. Family isn't a ledger, she said. Write that down. It comes back later and detonates. By Monday, I was out of the group chat, removed. A cousin texted, heard you cut your parents off. The story was simple. Selfish Sarah, letting her parents lose their house. One person broke pattern. My Uncle Frank texted, 2 sides to every roof, kiddo. Then Monday morning, there's a Jake Brooks here to see you. Jake stood in my lobby. Be reasonable. It's just a few payments. He'd put a deposit on a bigger house. Counting on how things are structured now, he said. Let me make sure I have this right. I said quietly. You're spending an inheritance out of a house 2 living people still sleep in. That night, I took the house key off my ring. I dropped it in the junk drawer. The next morning, my father called. He never calls. Diner on Route 9. 11, just us. He told me a story. When my grandmother got sick, my mother moved in. For years. Nights. Diapers. Doctors. Patricia was busy with Jake. My mother spent her wedding fund on care. When Grandma died, the house went to Patricia anyway, because Patricia needed it more. Nobody ever thanked my mother. She waited to be seen, and it never came. My mother had been me 30 years before. She wasn't repaying her debt. She was reissuing it to me. My father reached across the table. I'm going to fix it. Give me time. Spring turned to summer. Through Uncle Frank, I learned the bank letter had landed. 90 days behind. Default. Acceleration. My mother told everyone the bank made an error. Patricia convened a family meeting. Their conclusion: Sarah will come around. She always does. That's what I was, a utility they built the whole grid on and never checked the bill. Then on a Tuesday in August, my phone rang at 4 a.m. It's your father. Riverside General. Come. I was on the highway in 9 minutes. Nothing about money. Nothing about the trust. I had stopped paying their bills, but I had never stopped being his daughter. Heart failure. The ICU at 5 a.m. is all beeps and blue light. My mother saw me. Her face did arithmetic, relief, guilt, the ledger. Did you bring your checkbook or just yourself? Just myself, I said. That's what's left. Near dawn, my father opened his eyes. He pulled me close. His voice was mostly air. You were never the bill, Sarah. 2 days later, he died in his sleep. Standing in the funeral home, I overheard Patricia on the phone with Harrison. She wanted to know whether my father's passing changed the trust. He wasn't even in the ground yet. We buried him on a Thursday. The reception was in the church hall. Patricia gave a beautiful eulogy. Then she couldn't resist the audience. Some of us have money for a new car, but not for their own dying father's roof. I set down the coffee pot. Ask my mother what the refinance 6 years ago was for. That's all. Out on the steps, Frank caught me. What refinance? I told him. 6 years. 80,000. 72 payments. Over $120,000. Frank looked at my phone screen. You paid for the roof they sold out from over you. By Wednesday, the family flipped. Patricia learned what it feels like when the group chat is about you. My cousin Rachel pulled county records. She posted them with no caption. The chat went silent. The question started, not aimed at me. Patricia tried. It was an investment in family. But every answer sounded worse. And slowly my family turned around. One night, a number I didn't have saved lit up. I'm sorry. I didn't know about the 80,000. Derek told me it was a small loan. I believe you. It was Megan, Jake's wife. In October, a sheriff's deputy came with a foreclosure summons. My mother refused to list the house. Jake's deposit was gone. The credit card started calling. Patricia floated a family payment plan. The family discovered previous commitments. Nobody said sorry. When the law office called in January, I knew they were out of exits, and I was the last door. Same conference room. Same table. My mother in her good coat. Patricia subdued. Jake thinner. Harrison laid it out. $20,000 to reinstate the loan. My mother would sign an amendment. The house would go to me. My mother took my hand. Nothing changes, sweetheart. Nothing changes. I told them I needed 24 hours. That night, I put it in 2 columns. Column A, take the deal. House. Magnolia. Doorframe. Mother. Column B, walk away. 72 payments. No thanks. A trust that erased me with love. The nouns were beautiful. I wanted them so badly. But I understood. The deal was selling me back my seat at $1,400 a month forever. I closed the notebook. I drove north to the workshop. It smelled like my childhood. Motor oil and cedar. And there, on sawhorses, sat something I'd never seen. A porch swing, half-built. Oak slats. Joints dry-fitted. Clamps waiting for glue. Then I saw the pencil marks on the crossbeam. My father's shaky handwriting. For Sarah's front porch. Whenever she finds home. Not for the house. Not for Sycamore Street. Home was somewhere out ahead of me. This was his fix permission. The next afternoon, I walked into Harrison's office. I set an envelope on the table. It wasn't money. My mother opened it. A statement, 72 lines. Every transfer. At the bottom, paid in full. And the brass house key. I'm not reinstating the loan, I said. You're selling me back my seat at $1,400 a month. I already paid 6 years for a chair nobody saved. I turned to Patricia. Family isn't a ledger, but you're the ones who kept sending me the bill. Patricia came out of her seat. Her bake sale voice cracked. You smug little. My mother looked at the statement. I gave my mother my wedding fund. For years. Nobody thanked me either. That's what daughters do. We hold the family up. Somebody should have thanked you, I said gently. But you don't heal that by doing it to me. I walked out and didn't look back. 6 weeks later, the county sold the house. Frank went. 11 minutes, he said. Sold to a stranger. The sale money fed the machine. What trickled out wouldn't last. The famous trust now held a truck and some furniture, a frame around a hole. Jake's cards maxed. His deposit forfeited. Megan took the girls to her mother's. When the dust settled, I showed up with a truck. I moved my mother out myself. I helped with the application. But I didn't pay. I'll drive you. I'll carry boxes. I'll do your paperwork. But I won't pay you to love me. I tried that for 6 years, and you kept the money and canceled the love. She said nothing. For once, her silence didn't cost me anything. On my way home, I drove down Sycamore Street one last time. New curtains. Somebody else's porch light. I waited for it to gut me. It didn't. This spring, I signed my name on a house of my own. Small. Blue-gray. A front porch facing west. The payment is almost exactly what I used to send every month. Same money, finally going in the right direction. My mother and I have coffee on Sundays. An hour. No more. We talk about the church bulletin. Never about Sycamore Street. She's never said sorry. I've stopped waiting. Patricia tells her version at church. Frank tells the other at cookouts. Jake is in Texas now. Megan texts photos of the girls. The porch swing came home with me. I finished it. Sealed the crossbeam instead of sanding. Some handwriting you keep. It hangs on my porch now. I sit there in the evenings. Some nights I still cry. I've decided it's just the last of the old payments leaving the account. Walking away from a debt that was never yours isn't abandoning your family. It's the first payment you make on your own life. That's my story. If someone treats your love like a bill, you're allowed to close the account. Share this with somebody who pays quietly. Tell me in the comments what you would have done. Hit subscribe to Zarabell Stories, and I'll see you in the next one.